As we human beings are natural storytellers, from creating valuable messages through cave paintings to exciting stories around a campfire, how come is it that when it comes down to telling about our past work history, in a job-seeking situation, the information we convey via various documents and letters, it is oftentimes dull, grey, and detailed list of past employers and job titles. Hi, I'm Johanna Wartio, and I'm a screenwriting teacher and a creator of Living Portfolio Changing Employment projects. And I'd like to talk to you about, today, storifying your employment history and bringing your story into the forefront of your employability. It is 2012, and I sit in the office of my film production company in Denmark Street. I'm waiting the next applicant for production coordinator's job to step in. It's Lisa. She sits down in front of me and seems energetic, but a bit anxious. I've read her visually hard-to-read CV, a mishmash of various roles in film and TV production, and a short cover letter. She has a BA in film studies, and she's done some short courses at a local film school. Great. It seems like she has some degree and great courses covered. But the work history, that was a bit hard to interpret. Various assisting roles in different departments, but no clear direction. Yes, this can be typical in creative industries, that people take the jobs they can get. And it is hard always land consistently on the same work role that you really want to thrive into. Lisa excitedly, but randomly, talked about her studies, her past in many assisting roles, thrilling productions, her travels, and her tremendous passion for film, and her hopes to become a screenwriter one day. I asked her questions about her skills needed in this job, and she replied, yes, I can do that. Yes, I have used that software. Yes, and so on. But when I asked more about her understanding of the process and the workflow, her answers were a bit too generic. She didn't seem to know how to tell about her strengths, and I just wasn't convinced. The time was up, and the interview was over. The next applicant was due. Eventually, the job went to a candidate who was passionate about her work and was able to describe her skills and competencies in a compelling way. During the last 2 decades, studying the field of creative industries, and especially audiovisual production, freelance work, entrepreneurship, employment, I have come to notice that the more visual your field of expertise is, the easier it is to show your work to recruiters and employers. It is easier to look at a portfolio of storyboards, show reels of one's cinematic work samples, and concepts of graphic design. However, for example, screenwriters, and especially people who work in the production managers, coordinators, assistants, various different jobs, they have it harder to actually show what they can do in other ways than detailing it all into a several-page-long CV. Curriculum vitae, your resume, is your living document. You update every time your last contract has come to an end. But even more, it should be your living portfolio of stories. Stories from your work history, stories of your learning, stories of your experiences, and stories of your competencies. To tell a story about your work history, how to do that? It is 2020, I started with a team in Metropolia, a project we had been pondering about with companies, employers, public employment services, government organizations, job seekers, and educators in creative industries in Finland. The Living Portfolio project, which matches the applicants with suitable skills with the companies with suitable jobs by storifying the employment process, commenced. And a group of young professionals seeking jobs came on board. One of them was Tommy, an event manager who loved Excel. He loved crunching numbers, drawing up budgets, creating schedules, and especially managing his team. Working with budgets is a basic skill for a manager, but he was brilliant at it. Always thinking ahead, impressing his superiors, optimizing resources. But his event work was always contract-based. He ended up applying new jobs while he was still working on his current one. This is a stressful and continuous cycle in his life and in many other creative professionals' lives. In the Living Portfolio project, to help Tommy present his skills and brilliance in his work, we sat down and searched for the points of his work history with which he could express, show and tell his story. We wrote Tommy's story into a script and we filmed it into a video. He showed his wizardry of budgeting and scheduling while he passionately told about his love for numbers and team management and the key points of his employment history, where he had learned new things and advanced his skills. We shared it with the recruiters of potential event management companies. Tommy was one of the job seekers who found a new job more swiftly by showing and telling his story. We applied this model with job seeker skills, competencies, and past experiences. The Living Portfolio model is inspired by the method I use in my teaching. That is, digital storytelling training method, first created and used by artist Dana Ashley at American Film Institute 1993, and further developed by producer Joe Lambert. And it's also combined with various video CV models used by HR companies. The Living Portfolio model is customized to storify the job seeker's employment history and relevant parts of one's personal narrative and suit the needs of recruiters and employers in creative industries. With our group of young professionals, by using this method, we created mind maps. We looked at people's career paths. We acknowledged and recognized skills and competencies, character traits, strengths and abilities. We looked into people's personal histories. We found narratives of development, and we detected learning points. We discussed challenging cases, and we highlighted achievements and successes. We storified those key elements, wrote them into compelling scripts for employers to connect with, and filmed them into videos of different lengths to fit the recruiters' timeframes. The feedback from the employers and companies has been amazing so far. By creating and sharing these stories, we have built a platform of employers to connect with the applicants. It has opened a dialogue between the employer and the job seeker, and a real connection has emerged. Discussing these stories together with the employers has changed the way the job search and employment process for these young professionals has advanced. And they have found great matches with the companies. In the Living Portfolio project, we aim to have a deeper impact on employment and job search in creative industries. We keep working with companies, NGOs, professional networks, and government organizations to develop Living Portfolio into a widely used model for job search, recruiting, and employing. And what I would like to leave you with today is an invitation to have a moment with your own work history, review it with the Storifying glasses on, and see which stories you can find. Storify your work history and start a dialogue with your new employment future. Thank you.